Now, those were pictures of the streams where the mills were originally erected. And the grist mill had three water wheels. They were called under wheels. And what the under wheels did was the water would run under the wheel and it would push the wheel so that it would turn. They also had what were known as wheelboats. The wheelboats had wheels on the sides of the boat, and those wheels were supposed to turn the water and make the boat go. Well, as we know, wheels work much better on land than in water. If you would like to try a simple experiment, you may take a wagon with wheels and push it into the water and see just how effectively it moves around in the water. Then take that wagon out of the water and place it on land and push the wagon along on land, and you will see that the wheels are much more effectively used on land surfaces. Now, before we conclude today's episode, I would like to say one thing about moving around in areas that are, how can we say, wilderness. There are no real roads, although there was Route 30. And there are no real pathways, although there were waterways. Whenever you went off of the route that was carved out, let's say a road, Route 30, and there weren't many of them, or you went off of the waterway, which there were many of those, you had the problem of potentially getting lost. Now, this was before the time of GPS, Global Positioning Service. So anyway, prior to GPS, you really had to figure out where you were going. And the way you would do this is by marking your trail. Now, if you've ever owned a wolf cub that you have domesticated, and now that wolf cub is your companion, a domesticated wolf cub, also known as a dog, you will know that dogs will walk along a trail. And as they walk along the trail, they will mark the trail. Now, they don't whip out a Sharpie and write something on a leaf or a tree. No, they will lift their leg or squat, depending on whether they are male dogs or female dogs. And they will pee on the area. And that is the way they mark their trail. Well, prior to domesticating the wolf, the early pioneers who were, let us say, uncouth, meaning they had no couth. Now, if you know what couth is, it means refinement. It means delicacy. They were uncouth settlers, and they would have to go along and mark the trail. And as they did that, they would then know how to get back to wherever it was they were going. These are the little known facts of the sobering history of early Hibernia Park, given to you by the great historian Poppy Kinch. And let me remind you that in the days of early settlers, it was common for a settler to lose a tooth or two. And that would make them not only uncouth, but also untooth. So much for today's lesson. We hope you have learned a great deal, And I will now show you how we mark the trails on Hibernia Park. Well, I'm trying to switch. Well, I can't quite. Uh, I